Coming from the Caveman Studios in Buffalo, New York. Welcome to Caveman Corner with your host, Jeff.
Captain Caveman!
Thanks.
Click subscribe and the bell. Do it now!
Hello and welcome to the podcast, Janie. I'm here with Janie McGlohon. Did I get it right?
Yep.
All right, let's go. Janie McGlohon, and we're here to talk about your K4 title fight. How's that feel to be fighting for the title in a sport filled with super tough, crazy macho guys, crazy tough macho girls? And I just found this out in the green room that you're a scientist on top of it. That's crazy.
Yes. No, I'm really excited for the opportunity, and I've been training hard, to prepare for this. And, not only, getting the belt to be awesome, but I'm excited to defend it for whoever thinks they're better than me. So I'm really excited for the opportunities to come ahead.
So I'm going to jump into the scientist part because Amanda said, hello, Janie. And we talked about you a little bit in the green room too, Amanda, like how you reached out, how you helped her get into the sport. Can you talk about that a little bit quick? Janie?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. So when I first started, there wasn't really any active fighters. There's a few that were like on injury at Booma, but I didn't have any girls to really spar yet. Like Christina and Grace weren't there yet. And Amanda was the only one really. And she reached out to me often, and we would just either go to Integrity or Booma. She would actually come all the way to Booma at first because it was like my first year in Buffalo, and I'm from Texas originally. So I don't like driving in the snow, especially up to North Tonawanda because I'm downtown. So she would make the trip out to me, and I really appreciated that. And I got a lot of live reps and sparring with her, and she definitely eased me into it and brought other girls and kind of opened me up to the community, which was really nice because I was a newcomer and I didn't really know anyone or anything. So,
yeah, and in that time, I train with Keith a lot. Keith is one of my instructors as well, and we went through white belt to black belt together in jiu-jitsu, and we're almost like brothers. And so I'm in the room that you're in a lot. And when you first started, I honestly, and I told you this in the green room as well, I honestly thought you were way too soft to ever be a fighter. What made you want to get into the sport? Especially I was watching you get hit in the very beginning, ooh, I don't know about this, and then you kind of walk away. You've changed quite a bit, but what drew you to this sport, and why? I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, actually, when me and my now fiance moved, we went to Texas A&M together. That's where we met, and we moved up to Buffalo for grad school. Gyms were the first things to start opening up post-COVID, and me and my partner Gage, he really wanted to do something competitive, and men's ice hockey league, volleyball. That's not something as competitive as, and the body craves contact, things like that. So he found actually a few MMA gyms, and we reached out to all of the ones around, and Booma was the first one to get back to us. And we just ended up going, and Keith really broke down the basics at the beginning, showed us how to walk with our punches and all just the basics. And it was very welcoming environment, and we really liked it. So we continued doing it, and it was awesome because we got to train together. So aside from work hours, we actually got to spend more time together because he was my training partner, and he still is. So it's a lot of fun because we get to train together and spend more time together and get better together and compete together. It's a lot of fun. We were on the first card, our first fight together, which was awesome.
That's awesome. I was going to get into that too. Congratulations on the engagement, by the way. I didn't know.
Yes, thank you.
Congratulations. What was it like fighting with your significant other? There's got to be a lot of stress, especially both you guys getting ready for the fight at the same time. A lot of stress in households. A lot of couples that are fighters honestly don't fight on the same cards, just so one can support the other and the other one can support the other. What was it like going through that together, and where did you guys learn from that?
Honestly, I think, at least from my opinion, I enjoyed it with him because we both had to cut weight the first time. We had to cut back the sugar, the beers, everything. So it was really easy doing it together. Whereas, for example, his second fight, which I wasn't fighting on, I would go to Mr. Sizzle and get a milkshake, but drink it in the car. So one day he came to the car, there's 5 milkshakes. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I just didn't want to show you it because you're cutting weight and cutting out sugar and things like that." But I really liked it. I went on before him, so it was way easier because he was probably stressing about me going on and fighting because he didn't know what was going to happen. But I was like, I don't have to worry about him. Once I'm done with the fight, I had all that adrenaline, and I was just cheering him on afterwards. And we both won, so it was really nice. And it was a first fight, definitely.
It was a very amazing showing. And I always wondered what would happen if one of you guys lost and the other one didn't, especially if the first person fighting loses, then you're carrying all the hurt for the other person going into the next fight. And I think all those are all reasons that couples don't fight. But That was awesome. That worked out, and it was really good, and it was really fun to call that fight too.
No, it was a good experience. I definitely had an adrenaline dump that first fight. I was just battling my legs. I just remember being like, "Oh my gosh, is this how it's gonna be?" And then the second fight, I didn't have that adrenaline dump, and I was like, "Oh, thank God." So just the nerves got to me that first round, for sure.
And then what made you want to fight? We talked about this a little bit in the back too. Like I said, when you first started, you're like, oh, I don't really like this so much. Like when you get cracked, especially like it's not so much with the girls because girls all they respect each other, but you get in there with a guy and you get tagged up a little bit because not all guys know how to spar with girls so good. What made you want to be in the sport and not just be in the sport because I can understand that. What made you want to fight in the cage or in the ring?
Well, I'm competitive. I like to win. That's a big part. But honestly, when I get that first punch in the face, it kind of wakes me up and I'm just like, oh, let's go. Like I played soccer growing up. I'm very aggressive and it fits really well. I just enjoy it. And it's so technical and beautiful at the same time. Like it's aggressive, but it's beautiful. It's like a good mix of both. And I really enjoy it.
It was awesome. Last time I came in and you were sparring, you were running like the ladies' side of the sparring. Like I'll go with you, you go next, and like you were setting it all up. And that just shows me how far you become like a leader in the community. At least at Buma, like at the open mats there. So it was great to watch that, and it's great to watch it progress in the sport. That's one of the best things about doing what I do. You get to watch people like, oh, they're never gonna make it, into like becoming the next person. And now you're in line for a title fight.
I know. I'm really excited for this opportunity and I've been training hard for it and I am so ready. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be fun to get it and to defend it multiple times. So
awesome.
Really
You had two fights in K4. Both times you fought like someone that's pretty good. And the second time she was very, very experienced and I was a little bit worried about you. And you were able to take over both fights with just amazing technical punching. You get to the outside, you're able to catch kicks, you're able to kick. What gives you such a good feeling of the range and why are your hands so good?
So I think like the first fight was a really good experience because she was taller. And so, when I would overthrow those punches, I'd get in that clinch position and it wasn't like dominant for me, it was dominant for her. So I had to work on that and I learned a lot from that. And then when I fought Vanessa, which she was tough, she was talented, it was awesome. But she did have a little pop. She didn't have as much power probably as maybe someone who cuts for my weight. But she was very technical. So I learned a lot from that, which was really good. And I didn't love the strategy I had in that fight. It was more like I knew I had the power advantage. So I tried to just like bring that cross. So I kind of lost a lot more of the technique. But I ended up throwing a lot of knees and stuff, which was nice that I incorporated that. And then leading into like the tournament I did in Ohio, I got really test all of my weapons and get comfortable with that and everything like that. So I just feel like the last two fights have been way more experience, more learning. And I kind of believe that as an amateur, you just need to take more and more fights because when I spar or I hit pads, it doesn't translate to what I do with fighting. Like it helps, but it's not the same. So I think getting those live reps is really what makes me a better fighter. Cause I'm like, when you get hit really hard in a fight and you have to adjust, it's not like that in sparring at all. Cause no one's hitting you that hard. So even when I spar the girls, I don't hit them that hard. I go very light, not like light, but like fast. And you just want to like let them know that that's open, but you don't want to, give them a concussion or something where they can't come and train with you the next day. So it's very different. And I've learned that from fighting versus sparring or training is so different.
I think when people first start, that's a thing they have the hardest time with because when you first start sparring, it is a fight to you. So like you gotta look out for new people in the spar because they're coming 100%. And then some guys never get out of that. And some guys, every sparring session is a fight too. And you learn who those guys are too. I like Buma and I like where we train because we do limit, like everyone knows what we're sparring. We're like not trying to kill each other. We're trying to get better. And then when it is hard sparring rounds, everyone knows it's hard sparring rounds. So you don't have the person who's going like 3/4 speed or half speed getting killed by a person going 100%. Like I do think you need those super hard rounds sometimes to get ready for a fight, but I don't think unless you have a fight, like you're just killing your brain. There's no reason to fight that hard all the time.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I'm like, if you want to keep doing hard sparring, go do a tournament. You'll get a lot of reps there.
Yeah, for sure. We're talking about that in 1 second. First of all, shout out to Vanessa. She's coming back, fighting 110 pounds on this card, a little bit closer to her natural weight. Yeah. So that's awesome. A big shout out to Church Street Muay Thai. Great organization, great fight gym. And now let's get to the tournament. So this tournament doesn't show up on your official record. I know you did it because I follow Keith. I know you got a gold medal. Can you walk us through what the tournament is and your fights and how you won a gold medal?
Yeah, no, that was really exciting. It was kind of interesting because there's not a lot of girls, so you're kind of just going with where you can get the fights. And it was nice because since we had to weigh in every day, I got to fight at my walking weight, which was kind of different. I was actually like sick the entire tournament, so I was like popping Pepto like crazy. It was very challenging, but it was really cool because you weighed in the day of. That's like 7 a.m. on, I think it was Saturday was my first fight. I weighed in at 7 a.m. I fought that first fight at 9, won, which was really nice. This was through Waco, and then then I went at 2 p.m. to go to the other like section of the tournament, and they had Warriors Cup and K Series promotions. And so Keith registered me for those, and I got my next fight was like at like 6:30, and I got a kickboxing match at 126. And then they actually moved me up a division for Muay Thai, and I got a nice Muay Thai fight at 119, but in a higher class with someone with more experience. And it was it was a really good experience because I kind of got over those little habits I need to be able to fight. So like I went from 9 a.m. to going to eat to fighting at 6:30 to changing my gear, putting on elbow pads, and going back into the ring. So I fought 2 fights back to back, which was a very intense thing, but it was kind of nice because it was like a pseudo like 5-round fight a little bit. But then I went to bed, woke up at 7 a.m. to weigh in again the next day, and then had the championship K1 fight with Waco. So technically I fought in 3 divisions. I got second, first, and first.
Wow, that's a lot of fights in just a short amount of time.
Yeah, well, if we're driving all the way down there, might as well get them.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome that Keith went down there. It's awesome that you guys got it all in. Are you looking to do that again, or are you looking to stay up and fight like just on single night cards, or what's in the future for you after you win the title?
I really did like the tournament style. I'll definitely want to do that again, depending on like the style and like the organization who's running it, because it was really good experience and I really liked getting all those fights. I mean, tournaments are not for the weak. It was definitely challenging mentally, physically, everything. But I had Keith in my corner, which was awesome because I've never had him before because he runs the K4 events. So it was really nice to have him there and kind of learn a lot more from him in that way. But definitely want to do more tournaments, not all the time, but probably like once or twice a year, but definitely a lot more K4 fights.
Yeah, the WTBA tournaments are big too. That's like our organization, so you definitely get some work in there too.
Yeah.
Talking about not having Keith in your corner, what was it like having Keith in your corner? Because I know he's so good at breaking fights down. And then what's it like to fight K4 when he's not in your corner? Can you break down those 2 things for me?
Yeah, no. During the tournament, it was awesome because he was like, I can't remember a lot of it because it's just so much adrenaline. But anytime I had like an issue, I'm like, this is what's happening. He would be like, all right, let's do this. You're fine. Like he's very like, you're good. He's very confident in me. And that also gives me confidence too, which was really nice. And I was the last fight, I was like, I think I might throw up. And he's like, just throw up on this left side of this bucket. You'll be fine. Because I thought, if you throw up, you're done with the fight. But the guy before me threw up and I was like, oh, because I don't like throw up. So when I saw that, I got all queasy. It was brutal. But then, comparing, I guess, Keith in a sense to like Joe, my main corner for there, Joe's also great. I really appreciate him. He's very loud and they're both really great corners. They're different, but they're equally amazing. And I feel confident having either one in my corner. So that's really nice I appreciate them definitely so much. They do a lot. Because I can always like hear them in the back and I like, do what they tell me, but it never like clicks. I'm just used to their voice, which is nice, I guess. And it just flows.
They're about as polar opposite as you can get of people. Like Joe is about as goofy and silly as you can possibly be and still be a fighter.
Yeah.
And Keith is like as serious and calm demeanor as you could possibly be on the other side of it. And I always thought that's an interesting dynamic for all for all you guys that fight on K4 because like your corner is so different from Keith's corner. Like Josh is the same way. He's also like kind of silly and real loud and rambunctious, and like Keith is like as calm as can be. I was just wondering if you guys have different feelings going in. I'm sure some people like Keith better and some people like Joe better. Like I don't know.
I mean, I don't have a choice in the matter, so I really don't care either way. But I do think they both are equally very just like, Joe's goofy and everything, but when I'm fighting, he's there and he's like, do this, you're doing this, you're doing good, you're not doing good, this is what you need to fix. Like they're very direct, small sentences, like keep your hands up. It's very and Joe's really loud, so I can definitely hear him from a mile away.
Joe's super loud, and it's crazy. They're all in the same style. Keith coached everyone, so like the technique is the same down the down from your head coach all the way to your youngest coach, right?
Hmm.
And he coaches everybody. So all the coaching and technical side are the same. It's just personality differences, and like sometimes the personality in the back can make or break your day too. And I was just like it's so different sitting with Keith than it's sitting with Joe, than it's sitting with I've been in the back with
Yeah.
a lot of different kinds of people, and like every time it's a little bit different. And I think that's just a cool dynamic to your team as well.
Yeah, no, it is. But I mean, they're great coaches all around. We have really good coaches at Boom, and I'm very grateful for them because they spend a lot of time privates or even just coming in, fight team, things like that. And I really appreciate all the time because they have families, they have jobs, they have other things they could be doing. So I really appreciate the dedication and time with me. It's made me a great fighter so far. So can't wait to keep
For
growing.
sure. For sure. All right, now we have to get into the fight. Well, you are fighting Alyssa Bacardi Party, and like this is a girl that a lot of other girls are scared to fight, and you are welcome in this challenge.
Yeah.
What do you think about her as a fighter?
I actually really don't have any like information really on her that much. Like my mentality with fighting for the most part is I'm going to play my game. I'm not going to play your game. You're going to come into my game if anything. And that's it. Like it's a big mental game and I'm not going to worry about what you're doing. I'll take it at face value when it comes to me and adjust accordingly. It's
So
kind of how I approach it.
you haven't watched any tape or anything?
I've seen like one round, I've checked it out, but I'm like, yeah, I'm not too worried about it. Like I always I always say it's like not just for Alyssa. I respect her much as a fighter. I don't know really anything else, but she's very nice to me. We've chatted like through Instagram and things like that. And I have like no beef or anything with her. I think it's gonna be an electric fight. I think we're definitely gonna give people their money's worth for this fight. It's gonna be awesome. But like anytime my first opponent, she had videos. Vanessa had videos on her, and Alyssa has videos. Anytime I get mentally in my head, I just go watch those videos and I feel better. I'm like, okay, it's actually like this isn't like like Valentina from the UFC. Like I'm not like this is amateur fighting. We're at similar levels. It's gonna be a great fight. So I'm excited for it. It's gonna be a learning opportunity, and I'm excited just to get another W and get a belt, get the strap.
I can't wait to interview you after you win too. That's gonna be a great one. And if you are going to the fight, you can use K4 McGlohon, McGlohon. If you're just listening on audio and you can't see her name, so one more time, K4 Mick McGlohon, GLOHON. Put that in your checkout sheet. It's going to ask for promo code when you check out. Click that, add K4 McGlohon, and then she'll get credit for the tickets that you bought. And that's the only way that these amateur fighters make any money off these fights. So if you are going to go to the fight and you're there to support Janie, please make sure that you guys do that. Okay? Thank you.
Yes.
I gotta throw the plugs in. That's
Yes,
how it
of
works.
course. No, definitely. That's how I get all my privates paid for. I'm a grad student with, I make under minimum wage, so anything
Oh,
helps.
but you're a scientist, so someday you're gonna make all that money back and more when you make something that saves the world, hopefully.
Fingers crossed. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I would say like watching her, she is a tank. She just comes forward. She seems very hittable. Like everyone that she fights like touches her, but she just kind of walks through it and unloads on her. But most of the girls I've seen her fight also don't make angles. They're not smooth like you. They're not trying to jab and get it to the outside. They're not trying to like kick. Honestly, they look like they get hit by her once and they shell up and they look scared.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening with you. I mean, you got a lot of experience. You got a lot of fights now. Like it's 2-0 on your record, but now you got 6 fights. 6 fights is a lot of fights for an amateur. And you're going in against her, which I think she has 2 fights, maybe more, 2 that are recorded,
Mhm.
2 that I've seen. I don't know if she has more than that. She fought in K4 and she fought FCP, and it was both were very dominating performances.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess we'll find out if she can handle, getting hit back because I don't know if she's seen that because from my understanding, I don't think she's made it to a decision. It's been all like TKOs, I
Yeah,
think. So we'll
definitely.
see if she can go the distance. It's 5 rounds, man. It's a long time. So
So I would say that she's a very emotional fighter as well. Uh, and I'm sure, like, when you feel that, like, so I had a lot of fights. Sometimes they're not emotional, and like you're both very stoic and you're just there to fight. Sometimes one of you is super emotional and they come at you and you can feel it. and you're either like intimidated by it, or you use advantage of it, or you just just not like you don't let it affect you. Um, Sometimes you both get riled up. Have you been in there with someone that's really gonna like challenge you and gets emotional yet? Both your fights in K4 I seen looked pretty like you're both just stoic and you're both just trying to fight.
So far, even the experience with the girls in the tournament, it's always been very respectful. And I definitely don't like, I don't want to be too much of an emotional fighter because I think that's where you can get, caught, KO, things like that. But overall, I respect anyone who steps in the ring with me and wants to fight. So I will always try to keep a calm head. And, things happen, especially in the heat of the moment. And if that happens with her against me, I'm not going to take it personally. Like, you're in a closed cage where like you're literally trying to knock someone out. So like I totally understand it going emotional or not, but I try to keep a calm head because seeing red is not always good. Like, for example, they always say the best hockey players, whenever they have the puck, their like heart rate actually slows because they're in the moment, they can see it. And that's what my goal is when I'm training, try to get there. So I'm always trying to be calm, cool, and collected.
Do you think you can use that to an advantage and keep a cool head if it's coming at you?
Oh yeah, definitely. And I'm expecting her to brawl and try to get at me. And so that's expected. And I mean, she's probably expecting things from me and trying to maybe adjust her game or whatever. So I'm just going to take it at face value and see what happens. So I'm not afraid of a brawler though, because I mean, I spar guys and sometimes they go a little hard and sometimes Gage and I will go medium hard sparring. So I've definitely felt a few
That sounds
punches.
dangerous. That
Yeah.
sounds like it could be domestic in the making.
No. I definitely hit him harder than he hits me. He does not want to hit me that hard. And if he does, coach will yell at him. So I'm covered. No, he's a great training partner, and he's definitely prepped me for this too. Because he definitely has more power than she would have. So he's got me a few times, and I haven't wobbled. So I feel like I got a pretty good jaw. I feel strong about that.
That's good. Her chin also hasn't been tested. I haven't even really seen her get hit yet. And that's another question about her. We have two questions about her going into the fight as like the commentary team. Can she go 5 rounds? Because I haven't seen her make it out of the second round yet, or maybe she made out of the second round and stopped the girl at the very start of the third round in the K4 fight. Can't quite remember, but all those fights have been easy sailing where her conditioning hasn't been tested. And then the second question is, can she take a shot? I've never seen her really get hit yet either. So those are the two questions that we're gonna find the answer out, I imagine, in this fight.
Well, she's definitely gonna get hit. I don't like unless she just throws one and catches me in the first like second. Like she's gonna get hit. Like that's the goal to fight is to hit her where it hurts. So respectfully, obviously.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, this is as respectful as it can be. We're fighting, like we're gonna say like this is what I'm gonna do, this is what you're gonna do. It's still respectfully. Like I always think it's respectful to say what you're gonna do until you like cross that line where you're talking like, oh, they're not good at this. They're not like if you're like, this is what I'm gonna do, and she's not gonna be able to stop it because I'm not good. That's confidence. And then when you're like, oh, she's terrible at this, she's terrible at that, that's like where it gets disrespectful. And I don't feel like you're disrespectful at all.
No, and we've cross trained with like Western New York girls, and like I love a lot of girls out of that gym. I've never actually trained with her. We've never like crossed paths really, but even like I like all the girls out of their gyms. They're really nice, like Amanda and Ashley and all of them. They're fantastic women. So I think they have a good group there, and maybe after this and a few things, it'd be fun to cross train again, make each other better. Buffalo versus everyone.
For sure, that's how it should be. And actually, I got another question to ask you about the Buffalo versus everyone. So you're fighting someone from WNY. Josh is fighting someone from WNY. What have the Saturday sessions been like? Has anybody from WNY come in? Have you been like banned WNY from there, like to stop them from seeing what you're doing? Has it changed the Saturday sparring at all?
I don't know. I actually haven't been to Saturday sparring because I've been having to work. So what I do is me and my fiance will get groups together on like Sunday or something and, get a few select people and spar with them and make that time to like really, because when you spar, like I'm not the biggest fan of sparring multiple people different times because in a fight, you're going to like spar someone or fight someone 3 rounds, maybe 5. So that's where you build up that IQ. But if you're fighting someone different every round, I don't feel like I get as much of the IQ training out of it. So I like to call in girls or guys and like spar 3 rounds with one and then go to another girl, spar 3 rounds with another one, things like that. Or even just 2 people and rotate to make it easier for me to kind of build that knowledge and IQ because I'm still learning and I'm still trying to get better. So.
That's awesome. That's a good way to think about it. I've always thought like I like to see as many different looks as I can when I spar because I want to be exposed to as many different styles as I can see. Definitely. And I feel like if I can't pick it up in a round, I'm really not like my mind's not focused enough. Like I gotta be able to see what's going on in a round. I should be able to adjust by the end of the first round to
No,
what's
I
going
totally
on.
agree. That's a good point too. Definitely.
But I can see like now you can find holes and you can plan it out. Like I see this, I'm gonna hit in the second round. But usually I spar so many rounds I get everyone a few times anyway. So
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Definitely.
I guess my next question is: have you sparred with Amanda since she's been back from Thailand yet?
No, I haven't. I'm so excited to. I bet you she's learned so much, gotten so much better, and I want to hear about her experience. That is so cool. She's the first person I know that went and did that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I had another friend, Gabby, that went and she fought. She turned pro over there too. She got a bunch of pro fights over there. And
Oh,
like to go to another country as like a woman alone, that's so
yeah.
crazy. And like not only that, you're going to fight around a bunch of like um, people that you don't know, and mostly men. Could be a very scary situation. And like that's so
Yeah.
brave. I think
No, I
she's
give
ready.
her a bu I give her a
Gabby.
bunch of credit because she's I watched her, like, little clip of her first fight, like, no headgear, no shin guards. I'm like, "Get it, dang." Whereas, like, most
Yeah.
people are like, "No, I need the headgear and the shin guards for, like, 5 fights," things like that, you know?
Yeah, all those
So,
too, like it all goes there. That's so crazy.
yeah, so I give
Thailand's
her
a place
props.
to
That's
be.
awesome.
Yeah, I haven't seen her since she got back yet either, but I was like super impressed by that, and I thought of all the people that would help you. Although she's from WNY, so she probably wouldn't train with you till after
Yeah.
the fight, anyways. It's so crazy. We do so much to like Buffalo against everybody, and then like we end up fighting each other still, anyways.
Yeah.
But
No, it's good, it's fine. Like,
yeah,
even with, like, I anticipate the girls from the Western New York to not, like, necessarily talk shit, but, like, be like, pump up Alyssa. Like, I totally get that, and I would never take that personally, just as long as, when we get back to the training and gym and stuff, we can all be friendly and train together and grow together. So, because 'cause we're amateurs, we're not pros, like, let's relax. It's
I
not
think
like we're McGregor.
I think people are going to be surprised by how tough you really are. I think like when you first started, everyone has that impression in their mind. Like people don't notice how fighters grow. And I watch you grow every fight, and I'm excited to see this one. I think this is a big test for both of you, and I think it's a bigger test for her than everyone is saying. And like,
Mm,
because everyone's like, oh, she just destroys everybody, Like I've heard that over and over again. But people don't understand like the angles that you make, the skill that you learn. They don't know that you've gone and done tournaments. It was really cool. I didn't know you were doing a tournament. I honestly wouldn't have known if I wasn't in Buffalo United thread. If I didn't see
mm.
there and keep posting there, I would never even known you went until I messaged you to get you on the podcast.
Yeah.
So like it
No,
was really quiet that you went out there and you won the tournament as well.
no, and it was crazy because I fought girls. My first fight was against a 42-year-old. She was tough. I took a few hits. That was crazy. That was a good experience. And then I fought like a 19-year-old, a 21-year-old, and then a 47-year-old, which was crazy with like over 20 years of experience. Like it was just really, really good experience and exposure. So I'm really happy I did that. I'm happy Keith was like able to support me to go up and do that too. So it was definitely a team effort.
That's awesome. How do you find time to fit in like grad student? I'm sure you're teaching, probably TA. You gotta work. You got a fiance. Although you guys train in the gym together, you still have to make time to do that,
Of course.
and you have to travel to fight. Like, how do you make it all work?
So I'm really lucky. I have an amazing like thesis advisor, my boss. He's very flexible with my schedule. So like, on Fridays I've been taking off half day to go train, ice bath, things like that. But then I just come in on Sunday and make up those hours. So he's like, as long as you get a certain amount of hours and you're being productive, like you don't want to be here for 7 years. So you're gonna be as productive as you can be. He's very flexible. So I'm able to have weird training hours, and it's also nice because my boxing coach, like we live very close and like very close to Booma and boxing. So like whenever we had snowstorms, we could walk to our boxing coach if we couldn't go to Booma. So it was like very flexible in that way too. So really just the flexibility of work life, which is nice. When I graduate, I'm definitely going to be looking for a job with flexibility because I want to keep training and getting better and fighting. And I definitely know like doing just a 9 to 5, that is so hard because most gyms, like you either train at like noon, you do 7 to 8 or 8 to 9, or it just depends on the schedule. So I definitely want a flexible job, and that's what I've learned from this experience because having a flexible job allows me to train at crazy hours, which has been nice because at the tournament I fought at 9 a.m. and sometimes I train at like 7 a.m. And then I also fought at like 6:30, which is when I train Muay Thai, 6:30 to 7:30. So those different like morning and night shifts kind of really helped me mentally with some of my fights, which was nice.
That's good too. I never even thought about like, wow, how weird it'd be to fight that early in the morning. Like I wrestled that early in the morning, but never fought. That's kind
Yeah.
of crazy.
No, and well, because you're like, what do I eat so I don't throw it up? Because you have to fight after you weigh in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a fun experience. But even I was a little nervous my second fight because I was gonna be like third to last on the card. I'm like, wow, I'm gonna go on at like 9 or 10. And usually I'm in bed by like 9 or 10. So I was like, this is crazy. But I honestly didn't mind it. I liked it a lot. It was, watching all the fighters come in and out. It was kind of soothing and like no one was focused on you, no one was worried about you. And then you just go out and once you hit the lights with the crowds, I'm just like game mode. Like I also don't have my glasses on, so I can't see anything past the person in front of me. So I have like no anxiety because I can't see anyone.
I had the same thing until I got LASIK. I couldn't see when I fought. It was so crazy. And then
Yeah.
you walk out, you can't see a face in the crowd. Like all
Nope.
you see is I couldn't even really see the person across me in the cage until we got close enough to like throw fists. Like
Oh
my
wow, no,
vision was really, really
I don't
bad.
have that bad a vision.
Yeah, so it was crazy, and like that really helped with my anxiety, I think, because like most of the time I fought, I couldn't see at all, and then
Yeah.
when I got LASIK, it was a little bit different, but not really, because I'd already fought a whole, like 30, 40 times by then, so
Yeah.
ready to go at it, no more nerves, but that's crazy.
Yeah, after a few
What?
fights, the nerves get out. It's nice.
Yeah, I always feel them. So, man, my nerves. As soon as I sign the contract to fight, I'm like, oh, why did I do this? Like I get super nervous the day I sign the contract, and then I work through it all the way up to the fight, and then I'm like so nervous until about the time I walk out. Once I walk out, it goes away. I'm not nervous once I get to the cage,
Yeah.
but like all the way up to the cage, I'm like, why do I do this to myself again? Why do I keep doing this? I hate this. And then you get out there and like, this is why I do this every time. And you get to walk out. Never been nervous from the time I walk out to I get in the cage. But like even like standing in the hallway before I go out, I'm like, oh, almost shaking. I'm so nervous. And then, like as soon as the lights come on and you walk out, dude, it's like a different personality comes in there.
No, it's true. You got your game face on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you eat with the 2 hours ago?
Like for the tournament?
Yeah.
My stomach was upset, so I took Pepto and just hoped
Yeah.
everything would stay down.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It
Did
was
you eat
fun.
nothing? Did you say have Pepto?
Yeah, I had to go buy some. I was just popping those pills, Pepto pills, and it really helped like 30 minutes leading up to the fight. So, and like bread, little things like that, little fast burning carbs just to get me in for like the 6 minutes of fighting. So,
Yeah, that's crazy. If I had to fight that early, I probably wouldn't eat at all. Just fight
yeah, and
without
honestly,
food.
I've learned that like what was nice is I couldn't eat before my like 6:30 fight and like right after I had to go fight again. And so like I realized like once I'm in the ring, like if I didn't get the right meal right before one of my fights, like it does not matter. Like I know like my muscles just go into like instinct mode of like predator, like let's go, let's win this. So
I've found that it's easier for me to fight like hungry and fasted than it is to fight too full.
yes,
Like even eating
100%.
the wrong food, like even not eating too much, but eating the wrong thing that sit in your stomach, like yeah, I've definitely come out flat from that. And I've learned to like I don't eat like if I'm fighting at like 8, 9 o'clock, I won't eat past noon and have everything
Yeah.
digested by the time I get in there.
Really, that early? Wow.
Yeah, I cut out early, because I always fought late. Like by the
Yeah.
time I go out, it's like 9, 10 o'clock, and I'll be fasted when I go out there almost.
Yeah, I'm definitely finding that balance because I know we have to go up to like the gamma meetings at like 4, so I try to eat at like 2 or 3.
Yeah,
But at the same time, it's a little nerve-wracking if like there's like 6 KOs at the beginning of like the first round of the 6 fights, and I'm fighting at like 8 instead of like 9 or 10. So I
uh,
try to account for that flexibility, and usually anywhere from like 4 to 6 hours before I eat, I'm good to go.
where are you on this card? You got to be close to the top of the bill.
I think so. I have no idea the order. I'm assuming I'm third, second to last because I think there's 1 or 2 pro fights potentially. So there's one pro
I
title fight, right?
I cannot say. I have the card, and I know where you are. I have to ask
Oh,
because I'm not allowed to say fights that aren't out yet because I get in a lot of trouble when I do that. But I do know the card, and I do know you're very close to top billing on the card. So I know that you're going to be near the end.
yeah.
So
I figured
but
because
obviously
with
the
Vanessa,
title
I was like,
anyways. Yeah,
yeah, I was near the end with Vanessa, so I figured I'd probably be also the same amount this
yeah.
time.
There's
So
only a couple title fights too, so I mean, you got to be near the very end of the bill.
yeah.
Uh, I'm excited to watch this one.
Oh, I am so excited. This is gonna be a great fight. It's gonna be a great experience for us both, me and the other girl. Like it's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be a battle.
So you are very close to finishing school. What are you going to do after school? Are you going to stay in the area, or are you going to move away to get a job? Like, what's in the future for Janie?
I have no idea really just yet. It also depends on my fiance where he wants to go. He has a job at New Era in Buffalo and he loves it. So we'll see. And also because all this NIH stuff, if I want to do a postdoc after my PhD, I don't know how funding looks like for that. So I don't know if I'm going to go industry, but I also taught high school biology before I got into grad school. So I also enjoy teaching. So that's an option too. I'm very flexible. Whatever job will give me the most flexibility and happiness basically and pay a little bit, I'll probably go that route just for the next few years because I really want to push this Muay Thai and see how far I can take it.
Awesome. If you end up moving, are you going to try and still train back here and fight back here, or train
Oh,
somewhere else? What would you
so
do?
theoretically, if we did move, I don't know if we will, but if we did move, I would, once I win that belt, I'm gonna come back and defend it anytime someone wants to try to take it from me. I'm okay with that.
Awesome, because Keith brings people in from everywhere, so he brings
Yeah.
them back in just to see the people in Buffalo again too.
Yeah. No, it's actually hilarious because after my championship fight, the Waco one, that was my first TKO, which was really exciting because I know I have power. I just wanted to it was nice to like get a TKO because of the power. And the girl found me on Instagram and like messaged me was like, "Hey, I want like a rematch." I'm like, "Let's do it." So that will be probably sometime in the future. It won't be for 115 and it might be we did kickboxing and I think she does kickboxing and she's a little heavier. So it'd probably be like a 120, 125 fight, but I'm so down because that was like my fourth fight. That was only her second fight. So I'm like, I was gassed and I still was able to TKO. So let's do it when I'm not gassed.
We should make that happen in K4. I'll help you sell that one.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, she was from Missouri. Missouri? I think she's from Missouri.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be another great person coming in.
Yeah,
You can watch
very talented.
you can sell the pay-per-view at k4fighting.tv. And anyone that wants to just watch the pay-per-view and not come out, you can watch it there. You can hear myself, Ben Field, Ray Arias, and we will talk all about the fights, and we'll definitely be calling Janie's fight as well. So for all you guys that just want to watch the pay-per-view, you can do it that way as well. Another shameless plug, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
All right. So going into some more training, what's it been like training at Buma? I know they were the first gym to reach out to you. Can you talk a little bit about the culture and a little bit about how Crew Keith teaches Muay Thai and what it's like to have one of the only crews in Buffalo?
No, it's awesome. Bumo is definitely a welcoming culture. Like anytime a newbie comes in, whether it's like Tuesday, Thursday, or like the beginner Saturday class, I love that Keith will always just go back to the basics because we can never just get those basics down. Like they're so important just to drive home those basics. So when like a new person comes in, it's awesome because we do the footwork. We, how do you throw a punch? How do you slip? Things like that. And Keith is very technical, and I feel like I'm a very technical fighter because being at 115 and being small, I feel like I get my power from my technique. So I've definitely been honing in on that. And I love how technical he is. And I love how whenever him and Coach Joe is so much fun in the locker or in the gym too, because he'll have his noodle around. So if you're like drop your hands, he's smacking you with the noodle. Like it's just a really we take training seriously, but it's also very fun. So it's a good mix both for the environment. And Keith is an amazing coach and instructor, and he'll bring Peaches in, he'll bring Dylan in, Declan. Like it's very family ran, and I love that because when we first moved to Buffalo, it was COVID, and the Buma people were like our first, they welcomed us. We felt really welcome to Buffalo because of Buma, because that was the first thing we ever did. Because all the restaurants were closed. I couldn't really hang out with my cohort that we got here because of COVID and things like that. So the gym was really the first place to welcome us and kind of be like, oh, you should check out this spot to eat. You should go here. Like very friendly. And even when we started sparring, everyone was very nice to me when I started my first sparring. They weren't just like, reaming in, hitting me and things like that. They were very respectful. And for the most part, all of the guys are really, really good at like controlling and managing that power depending on who you're training with. And, there's like one or two guys maybe who don't, but those are the opportunities. I'm like, okay, this is how I make sure my hands are up because they have to be up or I'm going to get caught. So I'll use them as well as a different kind of training technique too.
That was actually going to be my next question too. What's it like being a smaller girl, getting training partners? I know you got a decent amount of women over there at Buma, but just the women in general. I know that you guys have open mats so women can get a chance to spar, but what's it like training with a bunch of guys? And have you ever been in a place where they don't really take care of you compared to Buma, where they are taking care of you? Because I know a lot of girls struggle with the sport at times.
Yeah, well, I definitely know. Yeah, if there's someone who will go a little harder, like can't control it, like if I give them a hard jab and they're just gonna come back at me with a hook because they're just like their ego's hurt, I'll know not to spar them. And us girls will kind of be like, hey, don't spar that guy. If you do, put a mouth guard in and like be careful. But Keith is really good and Joe about being like if someone's going too hard, he'll stop them and be like, no, no, no. And he explains that, there's light sparring where like you should be able to get hit with your hands down and it's not going to hurt. Like that's light sparring, light contact sparring. Then there's like, medium sparring and there's hard sparring. And he's like, there's different levels. So, you need to figure out both because if you can't do it like, quick and soft, you're probably not going to be able to do it hard and fast. So I think it's a very good culture at Boom. I've never been uncomfortable ever there or felt like endangered or anything. So even like when I get swept, guys are really nice and will just like catch me and cradle me down. Because I'm so light.
I'm not that nice.
Except for my partner. Sometimes he'll sweep me and I just land on my butt, but I'm like, I just got to learn. But I don't get swept anymore because that was not fun. Because once you get punched or you get kicked or somewhere where you don't like it, you're gonna be like, okay, I know what that feels like and I want to avoid that. So sparring with guys is sometimes good in that way. You learn a lot and it makes you a little tougher.
Definitely makes you tougher, and you've come a long way. I would never thought that you would be at this position that you're in right now when I first started watching spar. And like when Keith told me you were fighting, I was like, are you sure? But I hadn't seen you in a long time, to be honest. And then like when I came and watched you spar after that, I was like, oh, never. I took back what I said. I'm not sure I ever told Keith that, but I really did. I was amazed by how far you've come.
No, I totally get that. I watched when me and Amanda first started sparring with, I'm blanking on her name. She's so nice too. She reaches out a lot. The one with the short hair. She was independent gym for a bit. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on her name. Yeah. I think so. Yes. Yeah, I was blanking on her name. I know her Instagram profile, but I just can't think of her name. When we were both there, we recorded it and I rewatched it recently and I'm like, oh my God, I was so bad. I was so timid. It wasn't even that I was technically bad. I was just so timid. And once you get that, like I remember, I think it was Amanda. I was like training with her one day and she's like, dude, just punch me in the face. I'm like, no, I don't want to punch you in the face. She's like, just punch me in the face. So I punched her face. She's like, see, I'm fine. I'm like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
But you also just don't want to be like an asshole to your opponent either that you're like training with, because if you get, if you bruise them and damage them, they can't train with you the next day. But there's a fine line and I've been figuring that out. So
yeah. And the fine line changes from person to person too, because everyone has a different limit of how far is too far. And like, it's great to have, like the good thing about having training partners like you bring in is like you all know each other and you don't have that thing where it gets out of control. So like you know exactly the kind of sparring you're getting when you're doing that. Like when I have a fight camp, that's kind of what I do. Like I spar a lot with Keith. Like I love sparring with Keith. Me and Keith get really good rounds in. They're hard, they're fast, but we don't hurt each other. We're able to protect each other, even though like we're kicking each other as hard as we can in the legs and the body. Like we stay off each other's heads, and it is really good training. And like if you take a couple leg kicks from Keith, you know if your legs are conditioned or not. So
true.
That's a good thing about training with a guy with tree trunk legs.
Yeah.
I've done my best to make my gym like Booma, a little bit differently, but a lot the same. Like I love the family atmosphere and the camaraderie that you guys have, and I think it's one of the best gyms in the area because of that.
Yeah.
And I'm excited. I got one more question. I'll let you get out here because I got Josh next.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Josh is going to talk for like 13 hours and talk a bunch of junk. If you want to watch shit talking, Josh is.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
What's it like having? You got three guys and yourself on the card. What's it like having a bunch of people on the card training together? Is that beneficial? You think? You feel like you don't get enough attention? What's it like having so many people on the card?
No, I think it's great. We work together and we have like a little fight group chat and, everyone's like, all right, what's your weight at? Where are you feeling? Are you training? And everyone will send like, the miles are running, things like that. So it gets you motivated. We all motivate each other and we're just like, we want to be the best and we want to represent Booma being the best. And so we just work towards that. And I feel like it's a very good culture. And like the last fight I was on for K4, we had like, I think like 6 people fight. It was awesome. Like sparring was great. Everyone was going to classes, like, because you just really go to like everything you can leading up to your fight. And so I enjoy it when more people are on the card. Like when it's just me, I'm like, all right, who wants to come in and get some rounds? But when it's everyone, they're like, hey, who's coming? Everyone's coming. And they're kind of like, not making you feel guilty for not coming, but they're like, hey, you should come and support your teammates. Like be a body bag for a bit.
Yeah, and then there's multiple times of training as well, because obviously you're going to have conflicting schedules, but with so many people on the card, you can at least get a couple people together always, which is another good thing. And then in the locker room, you got in the locker room during the fights, you have a bunch of people in the back. Sometimes it can be hectic getting everyone wrapped and warmed up, unless
Yeah.
you got like a lot of coaches or you're there with your friends. Like myself, I'm the only one that wraps hands for my gym. So like when I have a couple people on the card, it's like, man, it's tough to get everyone wrapped and warmed
Yeah.
up all at the same time. Like the warm ups that you want as a coach, not just physically warmed up. That's easy
Yeah.
because anyone can do that. But like you want to get them through the routines you're going to use in the fight itself.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's hard to get everyone warmed up unless you have someone working with them that whole time. But you got Joe, you got Josh, you got a bunch of people. So at least
No,
they
and
have
it's nice because I also have my fiance who is great. He's a great fighter too and great at holding pads. So like he's a great pad holder. And so when I work with Keith, we, mirror that in me and his private training sessions basically, because we'll go up at Booma like sometimes in the morning before work and just, go through the combos, things like that, run through things. So if, I can't get the time with Keith, which has never actually been an issue, I've always been able to get time with Keith for training and Josh and Joe and like whoever. I can always resort back to my fiance and same with him for me. So it's really nice to have someone who I'm like, hey, I know it's like going to be 7 a.m. but after the BJJ class, but do you want to come hold pads for me? And he's always supportive and supports me. So I always appreciate that. And I do the same back for him. He's great. It's a
that's
great partner to have off and
that's
on
the
the
best,
mat.
that's the best thing. But then like, did you guys have that when you're both fighting?
Yeah,
Like because
100%.
like now one of you can't warm the other one up because one's getting ready to fight and one just fought. Like
Oh,
uh
yeah. We have, we had like when we both fought, we had Sage, Grant, and
yeah
Joe. And then Keith wasn't there. Well, he was there, but he wasn't in the locker
yeah.
room. And then Josh wasn't, holding pads because he was fighting that fight too. But
Mhm.
there's always someone who steps up that if a lot of people are fighting, we don't have enough people to hold pads or like warm us up, someone else will just reach out and be like, yeah, I can definitely come in and help. It's a very like, I feel like our fight group since I've joined since COVID, it's grown a lot and it's very supportive. So it's really nice. And people are there for you when you need them, which is just awesome.
Plus, it's pretty easy because where you guys train. Like you're
Yeah.
literally finding where you train. So it's not like a 4 hour ride commitment for someone to come do it. That's when it gets difficult because
Yeah.
for us it's generally when we're going to fight, we're fighting far away,
Yeah.
not so close like you guys. Like that makes
Yeah.
makes it easy too. What's it
Even
like to fight in the place you train at? Like it's just
I
like going to the gym, really.
no, I liked it because like when we fought in Utica, I didn't like that drive because I was cutting weight. I was like, oh, I feel horrible. I just want to eat. Like this sucks. And I'm like car sick. So like that wasn't fun. And like the locker rooms were freezing because it was an ice hockey rink. So that sucked
Yeah.
too. But at Booma, it's nice because with being Booma, you get to be in your gym, so it's really nice because the mats are there. You get those normal vibes. Everything's good, and we can also watch some of the fights, which is really nice. Instead of it not being able to peek your head out with. And I mean, Gamma just runs a really smooth promotion too, so I never feel like the locker rooms will be like brutal. And it's nice that they can separate out the locker rooms because of all of the hockey locker rooms. So it's a really good
Yeah.
setup.
Gamma does a great job. I love Tom Kilkenny and the crew
Yeah.
there. I fought in a lot, not fought, but I fought, coached, and commentated in a lot of different organizations. And I think Gamma does one of the best jobs around.
Oh yeah.
Bellator is obviously a little bit better, but I think Gamma's like the best amateur place that I've been to. Um,
Yeah.
CFFC was pretty good too, but they had pros on the card as well. So I'd say it's the best amateurs around. One more question, and then I'm sorry, I keep saying one more question, but this
You're
is
good.
the last one, and then we'll let you promote anything you got to promote. So when I fought, I had a bunch of teammates on the card. It really affected me emotionally watching people I train with win and lose. Do you feel that in the back when you see someone come in like beat up, or you watch someone come in and they won? That was, in my experience, it was more. That's what got me more. I'd be like excited. I get like a little bit too excited warming up, and like you see a bunch of people come back and they win, and you're like, oh man, that's great. It never really affected me too much when people lose. I'd be sad, but not like where it affect me. But like when you watch a bunch of people win, you get a little bit too excited. And it takes me out of like I like to be a little stoic when I go out and fight, and a little bit like angry, like a chip on my shoulder. It makes me a little bit too happy when people come back winning.
Yeah. Like, does that happen with me?
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
don't I don't think it affects me. I'm very mentally strong. I don't think win or lose with a teammate, a partner, or whatever, I don't think it affects me because I don't have control over that. I try to control what I can control, and that's only me. So I'm not going to worry about anyone else. And if someone loses, I'll be like, hey, you're good. Like, don't worry. Like, you'll just get back in there. And if they win, you're like, oh, hell yeah, that's awesome. So it goes both ways. And I try not to let it affect me because I can only control what I can control. So
Yeah. I always be like, when people lost, I'd be like, well, I watch how hard they worked. I know that I worked way harder than them. They're like, man, that dude worked way harder than me. And man, like that he lost, and he gassed out. I was like, oh man, what's it gonna be like for me? Like, those
yeah.
are thoughts that I would honestly get while I was back there. I don't know how much it actually affected me in the fight, but like my emotions are right up and down in the back.
Yeah. No, I train hard every fight. I take it seriously because I mean you're gonna fight. You don't want to not take it seriously because in the end, like I played team sports growing up. Aside from I ran cross country like my last 2 years. But I realized that like, it's the work you put in. Like if you missed a soccer practice, well, your outfielder might help you out and like you can get a sub, you'll be fine if you miss those conditioning days. Here, you're just gonna get your ass kicked if you did not condition take it seriously. So I take it very seriously and I'm always over prepared. And that's in every aspect of my life, honestly. I'm very much of a hard worker, whether it's school life, anything.
Must be the scientist in you. You're always prepared for everything.
Yes, plan A, B, and C, always.
Do you have any sponsors or anything to plug while I got you on here?
Yes, actually, I'm going to be dropping a fight team shirt soon. I'm really excited, so keep out for that. It's going to be just Team McGlohon fight team, and I have my sponsors Aero Building and Windy Ridge Dairy, and they've helped me actually afford the tournament, all covered, which was nice, and this training camp, private lessons, recovery. And without them, it would be very stressful because, I'm a grad student. I don't make a lot of money right now. So sponsorship has really helped. And if you're looking to, have you guys want to sponsor me as well, feel free to reach out for maybe the next title fight, things like that. So I'm actually looking into getting some local places. I've been in the works, but it was just too short notice. So, but shout out to my sponsors right now. Yeah.
If you support someone, you want to make sure you're supporting a champ. You got to support the champ over there.
Exactly.
That's what you want to do.
Yes.
Support the champ. If you want to send me over those links, what I do is I re-put it on YouTube again, and I can put all those links for your sponsors and a YouTube one when it comes back out. Like these will be live on Facebook, and it's hard to add it back in, but I can, and it comes off down in 30 days anyways. But the one on YouTube will stay up forever, and I can add the sponsors into there if you send over links to them. And then
that'd be great.
Yeah, I can
put it right the PDF file of it, or do you mean the actual link to like their websites?
Like a link, whatever you would like to prefer. I can do the link, or I can put the PDF in there, whatever. The link is probably better because then they can just go click on it, especially if you got like a sales code or something, and then that'll help you out there, hopefully.
No, that'd be great. Thanks. Yeah, I'd love to chat them out. Great.
I'm doing podcasts. I'm getting on the podcast, so like we'll talk about you on all podcast appearances and help you sell stuff too.
Sweet, I'd love that. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate you coming on. Thank you for coming on. Thank you to Armstrong's Armory. Thank you to Buffalo Cryo. Thank you to everyone else that supports K4. Thank you to Keith for having me on. Thank you to Integrity Martial Arts. Come check out their MMA program that they just started. And I believe that's all the sponsors I have for today. And like always, like and subscribe to Caveman's Corner. Do it now.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me. It's been a treat.
Thank you so much for your time, Janie. And with that, we are out of here. Have a good night, everybody.
You too.
Josh,